Let's go!
We just got off a solid 3 or 4 hour session of Dragon Ball FighterZ, right? We just got a solid many hours with the latest character, and pretty damn clear he's super good. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is, as I was just describing, one of my favorite chores characters. I think he's actually incredibly fun. I think converting and doing fun combos with him with unique routes is also super fun. But the interesting point that sort of comes as this character's inclusion is that he is largely a cast disruptor. He's a Dragon Ball FighterZ, like, I'm here to f with shit, right? I'm here to mess around with the way this game is played, and he absolutely does, right? Absolutely does. Even between the two variations of the character that I was using, there's a team placement where I can make him, or where you can make him build Dragon Balls really fast, or there's a team placement where an assist where you can make him build his level 7 pretty quick. I have found that even in one round, building up to level 5 in just a round isn't even that hard. And yes, any simple hit into any tiny combo leads to instant death for the opponent at that point, because you're building 2 more bars super easy when you tag him in. The weird state right now is that I do think he's going to be really prominent when people get very good at him, because even outside of him being super good on a casual level, which is what I'm playing him at, those conversion aspects are nuts. The shit is just absolutely nuts. What's funny is that this could potentially be the end of Dragon Ball FighterZ. Could. This is absolutely like the monkey's wrench, just throw a wrench into a crowd kind of character that a lot of fighting game developers tend to focus on at the end of seasons. Street Fighter V literally just did it when Gil and Seth were at it, and they're like boss characters in the game that are playable. We're getting more characters now, but it was pretty clear that season 4, I'm sorry, of Street Fighter V was supposed to be the final season. No, it's not. Dude, several elements of Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta scream that he's kind of like the last character we're adding to maybe this version of Dragon Ball FighterZ. I think a lot of people are sort of perturbed by that, because many people got into fighting games or got into these style of versus games or how these games kind of play because of Dragon Ball FighterZ, right? So a lot of people thinking that, oh no, like this potentially is the last character, that's it. Maybe you'll get a balance patch for him at some point, or maybe some other characters. But that's essentially like, that's it, you know, see you later. And it seemed like a lot of people were super kind of disappointed / upset with that, which is weird to me, because almost the entirety of my career on making videos has mostly been kept alive because of dead games. No shit. Most of the videos I made for the past 10 years, when I needed to make content, right, and I needed to actually support my channel in ways where there wasn't new fighting games or new fighting games that I was really interested in playing, I kept them alive by playing old dead games, ones that I just really liked. And I absolutely developed an audience of people that like the same old games that I do. And that's literally what was my establishment in all the moments in between there being no fighting games. I can definitely see why some like content creators might be sort of miffed by that, because a lot of professional Dragon Ball either streamers or content producers or actual professional players might run into a situation where it's like, oh, if they don't make anything more for my game, what do I do? Don't even worry about that shit. Like, honestly, if you could keep doing the same thing you're doing and then playing the game you're playing, as long as you have people to play with, and you'll be fucking totally fine. If it really comes down to people like, oh, I can't play a fighting game unless it's being actively updated or played in tournament, that's really weird to me. That's genuinely weird to me that you have to. I can't have my game be just what it is. Like, that's super weird to me. Because that's the part where you'll start boiling down to the point where you're going to find community members and people to play with that are really going to keep the game alive. And that sort of camaraderie is where, in all honesty, some of the best fighting game communities are established. So I really do not agree with people saying, like, the game is dead. I think a lot of considerations of this fighting game is dead mostly boils down to a lack of developer support, right? If the game does not have any more developer support, like Killer Instinct, for example, back in 2017, no longer had dev support after about 4 years of the game getting dev support. And it was essentially dead at that point, right? The game, development-wise, is dead. That could be the case for Dragon Ball FighterZ, that now that Gogeta Super Saiyan 4 is out and the game is the way it is, the development support might actually be done for Dragon Ball FighterZ, we don't know. It seemed to have sold enough and done well, but weird shit happens, and the Dragon Ball license is some equally, absolutely insane weird shit to deal with, especially on Bandai Namco's end. They haven't announced the end of the game, but this very much feels like this is sort of a conclusionary kind of character. What I'll say is that doesn't mean the game's dead. Keep playing the game. Plenty of other people will keep playing the game. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 got its last update within a few months after it came out, and people loved the shit out of that game for like 5 years. So that's not really an issue. I don't know if it's done, right? I genuinely do not think they're doing anything more with this version of the game. In fact, I hope they don't. I am hoping that the development and budget and effort for Dragon Ball FighterZ current game is actually done. I hope they're just kaputski with it, even though I'm having more fun with this game than I have since the beta. However, and I've said this before, I really hope their efforts, if they are going forward with Dragon Ball FighterZ, is actually in a Dragon Ball FighterZ 2. Because truly, the things that can be upgraded and expanded upon in this game need a sequel, and they need a sequel-style budget. People don't understand what that means. When you have like DLC expansions like seasons, they are given a very limited budgetary concern from publishers and developers. There's only so much money that they can spend on DLC elements for a game moving forward. However, if the game gets a proper sequel, right? If it gets a sequel is given a different or establishing budget to make a sequel, to improve visuals, to improve performance, to add elements to the game, you know, things like that. And if that happens, there's a chance it can get better netcode. It can get better lobbies. It can get better matchmaking. It can get refined mechanics. It can get possibly even the majority of characters that compose the roster of Dragon Ball FighterZ as it is right now, and then just expand upon that. I keep using the example, and I'm going to say this over and over again because it's one of the best ways you can do it, especially if you're making a sequel within 2 to 5 years of your previous game. Smash Brothers for Wii U upgraded to Smash Ultimate. Clearly, most of the work they did on Smash for Wii U went directly forward to Smash Ultimate, and it was used as a base, but they changed a lot of stuff. They changed visuals, they added characters, they made characters play and expand in certain ways that they couldn't before. That's a good call. And then they just added more, like everyone's here plus more. In my personal opinion, that's the way you make Dragon Ball FighterZ 2. So for anyone that's like, this game's dead, it's upsetting me, I honestly hope that this version of the game is done. I really do, because the things that can actually be expanded to make Dragon Ball FighterZ even better in the future is truly important, and it's stuff that can't really happen to this version of the game. Getting things like rollback netcode and the budget associated with it for this version of the game, not gonna happen. But there is a chance that a next generation hardware version of Dragon Ball FighterZ would look fucking amazing, would actually look even better than this game, which is arguably the best looking fighting game ever. Could include a lot of crazy new things you can do with team mechanics, better online, everything like that. So I hope this game's dead in terms of a development standpoint, but it's not gonna die. Too many fucking people like Dragon Ball FighterZ. Too many people continually play it. If you're anytime looking for matches, the PlayStation version of this game is just littered with fans playing it. And the reason behind that, the reason there is content creators specifically focused on just making Dragon Ball content is because Dragon Ball is such a profound and impactful and widespreading and accessible franchise that there are YouTube channels just dedicated to Dragon Ball, whether it's card games or lore or reviews or fighting games or Xenoverse, like channels that are still hugely fucking successful, because I honestly feel Dragon Ball is more expansive and accessible than almost any other fighting game franchise outside of like Mortal Kombat. It really is. And having a game look as good as it does and be associated with Dragon Ball is a big deal. And that's why I think a Dragon Ball FighterZ 2 would be just as successful as this one if they came up with one. I honestly think Dragon Ball is I wish I was as big a Dragon Ball fan as other people were, because this game would just be an absolute friggin' dream come true to me, right? I wish this game was a Marvel vs. Capcom with Marvel and Capcom characters. I really do. I wish I could love it as much because of its characters as other people could. But I just didn't grow up with a lot of Dragon Ball. Absolutely aware of it, you know. And I know a lot of stuff about characters and things, but have I ever really watched a lot of it? I haven't. So it's so well known and recognized and popular that there will always be an audience for this shit, especially if Arc System Works is working on it. This game put Arc System Works on the map, and they should have been on the map a long time ago. I honestly hope this version of the game is dead, Dragon Ball FighterZ 2 is in development, and that might come out a year from now or something like that. That would make me super happy. Super happy. But don't worry if your fighting game doesn't have any more developer support. Seriously. That blows my mind that people would be like genuinely upset that, oh god, our fighting game community is dead because they aren't making any more of this version of the game. It's like, that's literally like the moment that the community comes together and keeps the game alive. That's like when it happens. So yeah, I don't buy that at all. People will make entire careers on dead games. So that excuse and that reasoning makes absolutely no sense to me. No sense to me.